In this video, we're going to talk about a very important mindset and approach to design systems, and that is the atomic design principles. Now, this is a revolutionary model for design systems and design thinking in general. Atomic design was coined by Brad Frost, and it's like breaking down your UIs into the tiniest Lego pieces and then building them back up into solid structures. Now, let's dive in and see what makes this approach so cool and so useful overall. Now, it starts with design tokens. Now, these are the smallest components and they describe the properties of an atom, which is going to be a concept that we're going to discuss in just a moment. They refer to repetitive design elements that define the style of an entire application, such as colors, spacing, typography, icons, and so on and so forth. In their implementation, they must always be bound to at least one atom, which is going to be the premise for this entire structure, as they do not fulfill a UI function on their own. Now, if you go one layer above, you're going to find atoms. And imagine atoms as the Lego bricks of design. They are the smallest indivisible elements like buttons, input fields, form fields, and many more. They are essentially simple, reusable, and form the foundation of your design system. Now, one layer above atoms, we're going to find molecules. And now picture molecules as sets of these atoms working harmoniously together. They're just like a combo of a button and an input field forming a search bar, for example. They're a bit more complex, but still highly reusable. So molecules add functionality and meaning to your design. Now, one layer above, we're going to find organisms. Now, moving up this ladder that we are exploring, we're going to find these elements that are larger design components, and they're formed by combining molecules together. So think of them as complete sections of your interface, like a navigation bar or a product card. Organisms are where things start to get really interesting, as you're going to have these components which are still going to be reusable, but they're more specific to elements which you are going to encounter throughout the app more and more often. Now, at the very top, we're going to find the templates and pages. And these are almost like blueprints that you have to keep in mind. And these are going to help you establish the layout and the structure, guiding how organisms fit together. And essentially, pages are where it all comes to life. Complete web pages or app screens crafted from the smaller building blocks. And by this point, you might ask yourself, okay, but why bothering with all of this atom splitting and molecule making? And here's where the magic is really. Atom design bring order to chaos. So by breaking down your design into these smaller components, you gain the following superpowers. First of all, you have a level of consistency, which you can't really have if you don't approach design systems in this way. Since you're reusing atoms and molecules, your design stays consistent across the boards. There's no mismatch button or wonky layouts. On top of that, you also have a high degree of flexibility. So do you need to tweak something? That's not a problem. Atom design lets you make changes easily without breaking the whole system. And on top of that, you're going to have a level of consistency whenever you make these changes in a flexible way, which is going to essentially create a solid structure for any project that you're working with, really. Top of that, you have the scalability factor. So as your project grows, Atom Design scales with you. It's like having a design infrastructure that can essentially handle anything that you throw at it. And at the very last, but definitely not least, there is the collaboration aspect to it, since designers and the developers can speak the same language. Designers are going to obviously focus on crafting the design system, while developers bring it to life, which, as you know, it's a match made in design heaven. Now, in future videos, we're going to see examples of atomic design applied to a project in Figma. And again, this is going to serve you as a mental model. It's not a model which you have to adhere in each and every single pixel that you're crafting, but it's a mental model that you want to keep in mind whenever you're creating and structuring a design system or even a loose design project for a quick design that you might be doing in Figma. And even though you don't plan in scaling it, by applying these mental models, you can create a structure which is going to work for the long term regardless.